Hello everyone, welcome back to PÖFF TV studio. I'm Amin, and we are right here in Tallinn, Estonia, right in the heart of the Black Nights Film Festival. Today, and in this episode, we have a great guest, a cinematographer, Roberto Schaefer, who has had a great career over here, and we're gonna talk about his career and what he has been doing over these years. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Yeah, how do you feel in Estonia?
Fine.
How do you like it?
Yeah, I do like it.
Okay, so let's start talking about the career.
Sure.
And let's see, in these years, how was the path? So for first question, I would like to ask you, what was that thing that pursued you to this career?
Love of photography and art, and
okay.
and realizing that I studied art, fine art, and I realized that it was going to be really hard to make a living as a fine artist, especially conceptual art.
Exactly.
And I was offered a job to work on a crew for doing commercials, and I just ended up staying and continue doing that.
Okay, so need of survival basically. Okay, pulled you to this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
and
get
love of movies.
Love of movies too. Okay. Nice combination. Yeah. Okay, golden match. All right. So for the next question, I was thinking about to ask, like, what is that fulfilling aspect of your job for you?
Being creative, being able to participate in telling the story with the visual images, and not relying just on the words, and not relying on the actors and the director to do everything, but to be an active participant and contributing as much as I can to telling the story, and being visually, not correct, but visually serving the story. So everything depends on what the scene is, what the story is, what the movie is. It's never one specific look. It's always specific to telling that part of the story.
So to just not talk and show at the same time.
That's I even say if I can have people watch the movie and understand it without hearing the dialogue, even better.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice one.
Yeah.
Yep, sure. So let's go a bit further and about the projects you have done. But for first, I would like to ask that what is that main thing that you're always searching in the project when someone is proposing that idea of, okay, let's make a movie, or could you come for this project? What is that main thing that you're always searching for, that suggestion that, okay, I'm gonna check this, and then if this is that which I was thinking, then I'm gonna go and join this project?
Or I'm going to go and say, yes, I want to do the project, and then they decide whether they want me, because that's always the final thing. But
sure.
It's the story, basically the story, if I like the story, and even more now, it's the people involved in making the story, in making the movie, because I don't want to spend my time with people that I don't enjoy being with. And it's always anywhere from 3 months to a year, and I like where people get along with each other and respect each other and have a good story to tell, but also want to have fun and enjoyable time, and to be creative, to allow me to be creative and not just say, that's where I want the camera, that's the lens I want, that's what we're doing, but to be a collaboration. So I interview the director and the producer as much as they interview me, and hopefully we all agree and it's a good script. And
so basically everything on the sake of negotiation.
Negotiation, but it's a human level. It's about the humanity of things, because I've had occasions in the past to work on things that weren't pleasant. I don't need to do that. Life is too short. There's too much out there. I don't want to wonder, why am I stuck here for 6 months with these people or this project where it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, time is much more expensive. All right. Yep, sure. Excellent. All right. But beside, you're talking about the collaboration and teamwork and the people who are working in that project.
Yeah.
Except, so you have had so many projects with one person, Marc Forster.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about that a bit later. But for now, except him, who are the people that you're thinking, okay, if they're in the project or they are doing this, that's going to be definitely successful, or the one that I'm gonna be comfortable working with them 6 months, 10 months, or whatever time. So I'm gonna go and join them.
Yeah.
Do you have any other person that?
Yeah, well, Christopher Guest, who I've done 3 movies and a TV series with, and about 30 or 40 television commercials. He was one of the first that I've worked with since I moved to the United States from Italy to start working. I just finished a film with a young director, Caleb Smith. We just finished a small film in Los Angeles, and I really liked him, and working with him in the collaboration and he's clever and a good writer. And if he has another project, would love to work with him again. The woman, Elizabeth Chomko, who I did What They Had with, who's phenomenal. Had a great time working with her. And if she has another project, she did have another one that she offered me, was a TV series that I wasn't interested in the subject matter, so I stepped away from it. There's so many directors I would love to work with again. Gideon Raff, I did the Red Sea Diving Resort with him. Would love to work with him again. It's the ones that are, the good relationships, things that you remember.
So there are quite a lot of people actually.
Yeah, and Nick, who I did the Creation Stories with, which I don't think was ever released outside of Poland, maybe the UK. It's just there's quite a few. Yeah.
But as I understood from the adjectives you have used, they think that they are clever, they know how to work, and it's easy to work with them. Those are the main things that you are considering.
And they appreciate what I bring to the project. I'm not just the guy setting up the lights and putting in the camera, but I'm bringing a creative aspect to it.
Sure, definitely.
And I mean, especially with Marc, I did a lot of the creative decisions on things to do and shots and how to set up things and where to put the camera, why to put the camera there, how to set up the scenes, tell the story with the camera and the scenes. So that's where I get it's a creative, it gives me worth. It's like, for me, as if I was an artist on my own, if I was a painter or I was a sculptor or I was doing whatever kind of work I was doing, even still photography, I have to feel fulfilled with the work that I do. And it's never good enough, and I always want to make the next one better, but it's all about fulfilling that creative need.
True.
It's a
Excellent.
hunger. It really is a hunger. It never goes away.
Yeah, it's getting more and more even.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's talk about. Let's go back again generally and think about the career of a cinematographer. Oh my God. All right. So so let's talk about it. Like, if someone wants to start, nowadays the young people, they are thinking that everything is overexplored and there's nothing more to find. But you just told that there's a hunger and it's getting more and more, and when you are hungry for something, you will find it anyway. So but what you have, what sort of advice, or what's not advicey, but sort of like tips maybe, or maybe comments for those who wants to start and thinking that everything overexplored and we are nothing to do.
There's definitely, well, they say there's no new story since Shakespeare.
Yeah.
We keep remaking the stories with different people to change the dialogue, change the basics, but there's basic, there's stories about love, there's stories about lust, there's stories about crime, whatever, friendship, loss, sorrow. There's always something there. My advice really, and I've said it to quite a few people who have asked me about what to do, you have to be out there. You have to get out and make yourself available, take chances. It's like Vilmos Zsigmond, when he first fled Hungary and came to the United States, he did any kind of movie possible, anything that was there, bad horror movies, B movies, motorcycle movies, just to work and to get to learn to excel at the craft. So anything you can do, work, try things, and meet people. You have to get out and just let yourself be known. Because right now it's a different world with digital, for sure. It's not like when I was starting, where film was much more expensive and harder to. You had to know a lot. You had to learn a lot more. Now people come out of film school or don't go to film school and just buy a Blackmagic pocket camera and make movies. And yes, you can do that too, but I would recommend personally to look at the classics, watch film history, and learn what's been done and how people have made movies, and world cinema, Swedish cinema, German cinema, American cinema, Indian cinema, all the different world cinemas, and learn from the masters, Italian cinema and French, because there's so much rich material there to just inhale it, eat it, breathe it, sleep it, and let it build up inside of you. And then you have ways you can not necessarily copy, but you can reflect on ways something can be done, and there's something, somebody says, let's do this, and you go, yeah, I could kind of see how that could be like Buto Soufflé, and take the film and do that, you know, and be available.
Such a wise answer. Nice one.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right. So for the there will be 2 more questions before wrapping up.
Sure.
For the other one is about the AI. So nowadays AI, of course, is going crazy. Yeah,
Yes.
like
Yes.
everything can be done by it.
Yes.
In different fields. But let's keep it in the art and still in this field, and see that. Do you think that AI actually already occupied your positions in the films?
Not yet, not mine, but I've seen things lately that, and I've done a lot of television commercials also and documentaries, but television commercials especially, I've seen some things recently that you don't need. All you need is an agency or a creative to tell the machine what to do, and they come up with fully blown commercials that look anything like what you could shoot or better, because they can tweak and do all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it is marching forward. And when people say it'll never get there, never is not the right word. It's just not there yet, because it is so, the generative AI is so moving so fast. It's, you know, like my joke is, if it couldn't do it now, wait 20 minutes and it'll be able to do it.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, it's moving very fast. I'm on a bunch of AI committees with the Academy and with the ASC, and talking about it and investigating it and investigating the technology, and, you know, learning from it and learning to use it. Because, as they say, if you don't learn to, that's another thing for upcoming, learn to use the new technology. Because if you don't learn it, you don't know how to use it. Go, oh, that, you know, I'm not interested in that. It's going to pass you by, and you will not get work, because it will be part of our universe.
You have to stick yourself to the new technologies in any art, any fields.
Yeah.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. And the last question for me is like, so since you are in the game yourself and you know all the tricks and everything, when you're watching,
I never know all the tricks. There's always new tricks.
All right. Oh yeah, sure. I mean, this comes from being humble also,
Right.
but I mean, the experience and the path you have had, it shows that you at least know quite a lot of things. But considering those things and the tips and all these tricks and techniques, you know, when you're watching a film, definitely, probably you're like, you will understand somehow what are the problems over there. So considering these, what are those films that when you're watching or you have watched already, you're like, oh my God, great job. I would like to see this again, because he did a great job with the camera and lights and everything.
Yeah.
Where are those films?
They're out there. The problem is when a film doesn't engage me. See, I like to think of when I'm watching a film, the first time I just want to see it as a film. I don't want to tear it apart. I don't want to look at the technical. When I start to tear it apart, the first time I'm watching it, it means that the film hasn't engaged me, and I'm not a part of it. I'm not caring. I saw one film recently that, as soon as I saw it, I just noticed everything about it, but I was completely engaged and love it and think it's one of the few masterpieces I've seen recently, and it's a film called All the Dry Grasses. It's beautiful from the first frame, so that got me right away. The first frame, and it held, and it's got a slow pace, but it works. All the elements work together: the acting, the story, the dialogue, and when that happens, you lose the space around yourself. You're not in a room. You're just in the movie, and that's, for me, is if I can be sitting in a theater and realize that I've been transported into the screen and I'm just so taken by it that everything is working. And then there's things that will throw me off in a show or a movie that annoy me and I don't like as a cinematographer, and I can still appreciate the story. I can appreciate what they've done, except I say, I just wish they hadn't done that. There's a few things that bother me, but in the end, it's the full product. And if I like it, I try not to dissect it unless I'm dissecting it for good. Creative criticism.
All right. It's supposed to be actually the final question, but
Sure.
one question popped up right here. There's some sort of creativity and creations going on in films. For example, no cut. It's one take. For example, 1984 was the film, or something. Some numbers I don't really remember. It was like one.
The first
take.
one I remember was the Russian Ark
Mm-hmm.
And then there was also Victoria, which was a crime thing, all done one take. There's been a few others recently. I don't remember them all.
It's about the Second World War or First World War.
1917.
1970. Yeah. Sorry,
it's not really one take.
It's
sure. Shot to look like one take.
Yeah.
But these other ones, Russian Ark and Victoria, were all shot one camera nonstop, just passing the camera on and through windows and continuous. And they shot it they did 5 times, and the film was done. 1917 was done because it was done in different locations. And I know Roger Deakins who shot it and did a beautiful job. And they would wait 5 days for the weather to be right to match. Continuous. It was a tour de force, and it was brilliant. It doesn't always necessary to be done that way. There's some things that it works for and some that it doesn't.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to have you here. I myself learned a lot, and I know that the audience will also learn a lot from this sort of golden quotes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And once again, thank you so much for having us, watching us, and supporting us. Don't forget to support and follow our social media. Check the contents over there. And that's pretty much it. Till another interview, have a good one.